Just think about what went down this week alone. You had Donald Trump doubling down on his dehumanizing language. And by the way, just whining over and over again how he can't post the bond. He doesn't have enough cash to post a bond yet. He claims he's got so much cash at the same time. You had that congressional hearing, right, where MAGA Republicans wanted to spend their time talking more about Hunter Biden, and Democrats basically took over the hearing and exposed all of the criminality and corruption by the MAGA Republicans. Peter Navarro's time was up. One of Donald Trump's top aides finally went to jail, and so much more happened this week. And I always like to break down this week's events with my favorite show on the MeidasTouch network, the Alien Super Show. And we've got Bradley Whitford as our guest on the Alien Super Show. Of course, Bradley Whitford from The West Wing, my favorite show growing up, and Handmaid's Tale, kind of what we're living right now. So take it away, aliens. You're going to want to watch this.
This is like the 5th UFO I've seen today.
NBC News has hired former Republican National Committee Chair Ronna McDaniel as an on-air commentator ahead of the 2024 presidential election.
Oh, cool. Ronna McDaniel tried to literally throw out Biden votes in Michigan, and now she's an employee of NBC News.
Hold that Zotox rant, Zotox. I've got a distress call coming in on our landline. Must be from one of our undercover agents.
Sweep, patch us in.
What's up, Zadley Whitsorb?
Guys, it's getting a little hot and heavy down here. I could use a timeout, maybe a breather out of the skin suit.
Engage the extraction beam.
Okie doke.
Thanks, guys. Good to be back, just as I left it.
Zadley, we got a lot to monitor, so you're just going to have to sit in with us on this one.
Everyone's still talking about my interview with President Trump.
He looks like he's taking a on that chair.
All kinds of surprising issues, right? Interesting questions, if I don't mind saying myself.
Jesus Christ.
Somebody's ego and tie is looking a little inflated.
Let's take a look at some of these interesting questions.
They say it's lonely at the top. Is it ever lonely for you? Is there such a thing as overconfidence? I mean, you've been right a lot. No one's gone through what you've gone through. Nobody in human history. It's hard to conceive somebody like you shedding tears.
What the flying
Is there anything you would tell Hunter, because his dad apparently is worried about him relapsing? Any kind of advice or encouragement?
These are questions no one else is asking.
This may be my favorite moment in the interview. He said that there's a protective force. Do you remember
Is that a condom?
There was a lot of other things to talk about here.
The licking.
Look at his tongue.
We see that you're protected, maybe even by the hand of God.
What?
Has that ever crossed your mind?
But there is some kind of a protective force.
Even Trump's not willing to fully go there.
I know,
Yeah. Trump's like, look, I may be an idiot, but I'm pretty sure God is not doing anything for me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all for ass kissing, but this is ridiculous.
Of course, lots of folks laughed at me, God, at a moment like this. Well, what?
Hold it. Did you see what he just did with his eyes? The kind of I hate this when newscasters do a little acting and turn their eyes to the side to pretend to find the thought that's written on the teleprompter.
You can only bring up God as a punchline?
No, just you.
You're God's punchline. Yeah, we're desecrating God, not the guy who's paying off the porn stars slathered with Mantan with an orange veal cutlet on his head.
And here's God's little protected one now.
Here he is.
Now, if I don't get elected, it's going to be a bloodbath for the whole. That's going to be the least of it.
I love the guy yawning over his shoulder. Bloodbath, bloodbath, boring.
It's going to be a bloodbath for the country.
It is nice to see him marketing hygiene of any kind to the MAGA crowd, though.
Like a bloodbath.
Have you tried bathing in blood? Anything.
This would add to his thing where he's like, you got to flush the toilet 10, 15 times. It takes an hour to draw your blood bath.
These new blood baths.
And the blood is lukewarm.
They come out dripping with blood.
Quietly dripping out.
Didn't he then say, oh, I was just talking about the car industry?
Yes.
When you use the word bloodbath, I did a little Truth the other day. Truth is on fire. Yep. It's doing great.
Meaning it's not.
People that are complaining about it, they all used it. It's a commonly used phrase when you're getting slaughtered.
Ritualistically.
Economically.
A little bit different when I do it, being the leader of a bloodthirsty group of militiamen who want to execute non-white people everywhere. Tiny bit different.
He complains he's being taken out of context. But if we zoom out to the context of the entire rally, this is how he opened it.
Oh, God.
Ladies and gentlemen, Please rise for the horribly and unfairly treated January 6th hostages.
Sausages.
Please rise for a bunch of guys whose only crime is being a little out of tune.
Oh my God. By the way, that's how I want to be introduced the next time I'm presenting at an award show. Be horribly treated and abused.
Widely panned by psychos.
Do they rehearse? Do they have a glee club?
It's woke jail. They get to do arts and crafts.
I heard their production of Brigadoon was amazing.
Young people, they're in jail for years, if you call them people. I don't know if you call them people. In some cases, they're not people, in my opinion.
Isn't it amazing? After people being like, Trump is using dehumanizing language, he uses the one word that literally dehumanizes.
I feel like I haven't been clear.
Speaking in metaphors, I'm calling them animals.
They're not human.
They're not people.
Did you hear what he said about humanity? I've seen the humanity, and these humanity.
Yeah, these humanity.
We're taking in snacks. Yeah, maybe this one gets to you too.
What?
Hey, maybe this. His speeches, it would be a logical extension for him to just tear his pinky off and light it like a cigarette.
There you go.
It happened. You just saw it.
We got to smile about this. Look, if you don't have.
Yeah, you got to smile about the racism.
We're just having fun.
You got to laugh when you're dehumanizing.
Why do you use words like vermin and poisoning of the blood? The press reacts to that by saying, well, that's the kind of language that Hitler and Mussolini used.
Well, that's what they say. I didn't know that, but that's what they say.
Great minds think alike, I suppose.
Who knew that Hitler dehumanized people?
It's such a good defense.
He is basically saying, like, Jinx, you owe me a soda.
I came up with Hitler speak all on my own. That's how good I am.
If you don't use certain rhetoric, if you don't use certain words that maybe are not very nice words, nothing will happen.
If you don't do full Hitler, people aren't going to catch on.
He's challenging us to be bigger, better people.
You gotta go full Hitler. I've tried.
Then you need a copy of How to Win Racists and Incite Mobs.
Well, the parade of guys going to jail for Trump continues.
You gotta stop meeting like this.
Yeah, that's a joke.
No sense of humor here? What?
God, that is so...
Tough crowd.
Come on, guys. I'm going to jail.
Are these things on?
The open mic night in prison is going to be a lot tougher. No one's allowed to drink in there.
He's going to open for the J6 choir.
I know you're waiting to hear the music, but seriously.
What is it about commissary, huh?
The little story here is Navarro's going to prison today.
Sounds like a children's book. Navarro's going to prison today.
Executive privilege goes back to George Washington.
This is actually Navarro's audition to be Tom Cruise's dad in Top Gun 3.
Wow.
You cannot command me to come to you. And the reason is the
all right, and he will be reporting to that prison.
When Fox News has to cut in.
To fact check there, it is no longer an alleged crime. He has obviously been convicted.
We're going to let this man rant in this strip mall parking lot and fact check him while he does.
Also, they're like not acknowledging that Peter Navarro lived at that network for basically like 2.5 years.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't know, this person.
We don't know him.
Okay, let's switch gears to the Biden impeachment inquiry hearing that has all but faded away.
Everything was for the ultimate benefit of Donald Trump and thereby Vladimir Putin. Senator Ron Johnson and many others understood they were pushing a false narrative.
So the plan was to have a U.S. Senator, Ron Johnson, push that disinformation even further.
Correct.
Ron Johnson, this guy.
The cool thing about this testimony is like, okay, so we can confirm this thing that we all knew.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Of course, Ron Johnson was spreading he wasn't just spreading misinformation about Russia. He was spreading misinformation about COVID. It was like everything. This guy became synonymous with misinformation.
He's such a piece of shit. With all due respect.
Tucker Carlson, he went inside the subway in Moscow, built by Joseph Stalin decades ago. The thing looks like a cathedral.
He killed millions, but look at this pretty subway.
You know, I'm not saying we want to kill all the Jews, but the Autobahn is a stunning achievement.
8-lane highway.
No speed limit. I'm just saying.
Inside the bubble, you hear Republicans say, we need to get a result. We need to effectively govern.
That's not what I signed up for.
I'd subscribe more to the William F. Buckley definition of conservatism, which is standing athwart history and screaming, stop.
Yeah, stop history.
Stop time.
Do not evolve. Stop it.
Stop this moral arc of the universe.
I'm standing athwart you.
I think we'd be far better off if we never passed another piece of legislation.
As an actor, I think it'd be great if I never shot another scene. That's what's got to happen.
What channel is this?
It's Real America's Voice. It's online.
Ron Johnson, he's going onto this stuff intentionally to be like, yeah, I want to get real deep in the dirty, dark web of horrible 4chan.
Alt-right.
Yeah.
This is a senator legitimizing these fringe networks.
This is more embarrassing than a congressman coming on Alien Super Show.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, that is
yeah, or somebody who pretended to work in the White House coming on this show. It's embarrassing. It's humiliating. It's beneath him.
It's desperation at its most obvious.
Yeah, it really is. It's not even about the career anymore. It's some pathetic need for attention.
Right. Just, I got to see yourself on the screen.
Yeah.
Even in animated form. Like, as long as your voice is there, even, to just have that validation.
Right. It doesn't even have to be you. It just has to remind people of what you used to be.
Yeah. The idea of you, really.
That's pathetic.
And with no hard out either. Nothing to do all day except wait for this.
Yeah, to really not know if it's ever going to end. That it could just go on and on.
Anyway, we're on clip 9 of 40, so...
Oh, great. I can't wait to see all the security footage from Mar-a-Lago.
We're watching it in real time.
All right. Well, thanks for the break. Now I got to get back to pretending to be the highly acclaimed, award-winning actor, television's Bradley Whitford.
The Democrats are pro-crime, we're common sense, they're chaos and pro-criminal.
Hiya, thanks for tuning in. If you like the show, help us keep this spaceship going. Subscribe to our YouTube channel or drop a comment. We read them all. If you really like the show, subscribe to our Patreon where we share bonus content that didn't make it on this episode. Okay, gotta go. Thank you. Bye.